Hi, I'm Deacon Matt Newsom, campus minister at Western Carolina University. It's Monday of Holy Week, and our gospel today is from the beginning of John chapter 12. It's a beautiful account of Jesus dining in the home of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, and Mary pouring out her love for Jesus, quite literally by pouring out this rich perfumed oil to anoint his feet. So much oil that John tells us the house was filled with the scent. It must have been overwhelming. And Judas complains, not at the overwhelming scent, but at the cost of Mary's gift. This should have been sold, he said, for 300 days' wages. That's almost a year's pay, and the money used to help the poor. We still hear a similar charge levied against the Catholic Church often today. Anytime we spend money to build a beautiful church building or commission a work of sacred art or purchase gold vessels to celebrate Mass, why all this finery? Shouldn't this money be used to help the poor? And our response needs to be, yes, we have a moral obligation to help the poor. That's non-negotiable. Jesus is crystal clear about that in multiple places in the gospel. But here, he does not criticize Mary for what she does. Instead, he rebukes Judas. He says, leave her be, right? What Mary's doing is not wrong. It's not wrong to use our resources to show our love for God like this. Just because it's good for us to help the poor doesn't mean this other thing is not also good. We can and should do both. And the church does both. The church, yes, has beautiful, costly buildings and beautiful, costly works of art. And the church is also the world's largest charitable organization. These things are not mutually exclusive. Our love for God ought to spur us on to show our love for those in need. And that's precisely what Judas lacked, is love. The gospel says he's not motivated out of a concern for the poor, but he was complaining because he was the keeper of the money bag and he used to steal money for himself. Not very long after this, he would go on to betray our Lord, we have to remember, for a much lesser sum of only 30 pieces of silver. I remember hearing of a pastor one time who had a poor urban parish, very poor part of town, and after he spent millions of dollars to construct a new, beautiful church building, he faced criticism. Why didn't you spend that money to help the poor? And his response was to, number one, say, we are helping the poor, and he pointed to all the charitable work that his parish was involved in. But number two, to pose the question, don't the poor also deserve a beautiful place to worship God? No gift is rejected by God if it's given in love. The point is to love and to give generously. As we enter into Holy Week, where our Lord would give generously of himself, make a gift of himself out of love for us, how are we using our resources to show our love for God and for one another?